Chris Demm has now photographed my Friday the 13th themed birdhouse. It's a Friday the 13th cabin with Jason standing out front and a canoe in the back as if it's on Camp Crystal Lake. Now, I think I'm the only person in America with a Friday the 13th themed birdhouse. That's my guess. It was
probably.
It was made by a patient, and that's all we know. It was made by a patient
and delivered anonymously.
Yes,
to the building this morning, and then the delivery person disappeared.
Someone called and told BB Shea,
"There's a box outside."
And I'm telling you this: you, Chris Demm, you're the only person that can properly photograph this art.
It's a challenge because there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a three-dimensional birdhouse.
To me, you're the only person because you know lighting so well and angles, and he's taken a few photos of it, and we'll put it up on our social media. It deserves it. It deserves a spot.
Agree.
It's that good. The good, the bad, the ugly. Good stories, bad stories, ugly stories. One of them made me well up. It has a cross-country angle to it, and as you know...
You're cross-country dad now.
My daughter runs cross-country. The last time I was at a cross-country meet, I was accused of staring up at 18-year-old girls' asses.
Oh, yeah. High school girls.
Quote from my wife, "Don't think I didn't see you stare at those girls' asses as they walked by." And there I was. I was sitting with my cockapoo on my lap, stroking my cockapoo.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, those asses were right in front of me. I mean, I was sitting in a chair. They were standing right in front. What was I supposed to do?
Did you at least put on sunglasses?
At that time, I was wearing sunglasses, yes. Which means I thought I could stare at those asses anonymously without being caught.
You weren't drooling and falling asleep, were you?
I do that naturally. It doesn't matter if there's asses around or not. The cross-country meets are real good for falling asleep and drooling.
There's not a lot happening at the very beginning, in the very end.
You see take off, you see finish. That's all you see.
Yeah.
You sit in the same place. You take a comfortable lounge chair. You take a comfortable camp chair, and that's it. We get to that story in a moment. The other good story is from Arkansas. A guy named Dylan McKay has rescued an abandoned golden doodle. Now, who abandons their golden doodle? That just doesn't happen.
That's a beautiful dog.
Yes. That's what I'm going to call you because of your shirt.
Thank
golden
you.
Doodle.
Appreciate that.
Golden Doodle. The dog apparently was stranded on the side of the road and close to death in such bad shape that it needed surgery on, I believe, both legs. Well, here's what makes it remarkable. This guy, Dylan McKay, was just driving by and saw the dog and said, I have to do something. He and his fiancée, Emily, decided to adopt the dog, rescue the dog, and hopefully nurse him back to health. The price at the vet's office to get him back to health was over $10,000. They took a large chunk of their wedding fund savings and decided to spend it on the dog. And the two talked about it and said, well, we had saved up all this money. They're getting married early in the spring of next year.
So this dog was basically just surrendered to the hospital. And so we kind of like looked at each other and we looked at the dog and we're just like, we know what we have to do. We just feel really blessed that people love her as much as we do and want to help her get better.
And so that budget disappeared.
We went into the weekend thinking that she was going to get amputation on one leg and then the other leg hopefully fixed. But Monday morning, they were confident that they could fix both of the legs, and that turned out to be true.
Multiple surgeries, physical therapy, vaccinations, spaying. Dog's going to make it, but it cost them so far $10,400, which was almost all of the wedding money they had saved up.
Well, this does seem ripe for a GoFundMe for the family. You would imagine, if I know America, and I think I do, I would imagine that their friends will start a GoFundMe.
It screams GoFundMe for their wedding because they spent $10,000 on the dog, doing the nice thing and the right thing, and now they have a golden doodle.
And I don't know if it's too late to change the wedding plans. It might be, because some of those things you may have already had to pay for.
Already set in stone, exactly. We'll see. I hope they do get some funding.
What's the dog's name?
They didn't say the dog's name. They have not. Well, I guess they have named. It was not mentioned what the dog's name is, but the golden doodle itself is going to be okay.
What is your animal? A cockadoodle?
Cockapoo. She's more poo than doodle, I'd say. I've been asked that a lot.
What does a golden doodle look like? Are they bigger?
Very tall, very furry. Yeah, they kind of look like furry giraffes almost.
It's true. They have an odd look.
Yeah.
Very sweet dogs. You mixed anything with a poo, you mix anything with a doodle, you're in good shape there.
Yeah.
The oodle has become Well, Chris Demm has said these poor poodles, they just get cross-pollinated with everything.
Yeah,
Because
nobody wants an animal that sheds.
That's right. And these animals do not shed. Anything you mix with a poodle does not shed. This is the story. It's a good story, and it just sent me into tears today. From the Arkansas State Championship cross-country meet, there was a woman there, or a 18-year-old senior, running her final cross-country meet. Her name's Kaylee Montgomery. And she was trying to beat her personal record, which she set in the same cross-country meet last year.
So she's state levels.
She's state level, and she's trying to get her own PR. And they have video, of course, of many, many runners nearing the finish line. She was about 150 yards from the finish, and that's when her father says she usually does that finishing kick. You know, that's what they teach, right to the finish. Run.
Would you say your girl does the same?
She tries it. At some of the meets I saw, she did have a good finishing kick. And many of those girls and guys, when I watch it, they do. They'll try to pass the person in front of them, and it's a real sprint in the last 100 yards. And but in some of these meets, she's like, I've given it all. I could not do the burst of speed at the end, which of course I shamed her for.
Yeah, good.
That's what I do.
How do you build a champion?
You shame them. You shame them. Exactly. Well, Dad had his phone out filming and was shocked when his daughter, instead of starting the finishing kick where he expected her to, started slowing down. The reason was one of her competitors, who she had never met, a girl named Julia Witherington, had given out. Her legs wouldn't even work. She looked like a baby deer. She was down on the ground. So Kaylee Montgomery stopped, picked her up, basically put her over her shoulder, and took her all the way to the finish line.
How far do you think this is?
Over 100 yards.
Man.
Oh, wow.
There's over 100 yards. Wow. And it took them a couple of minutes to cross the finish line. But she says, the girl who, the Kaylee Montgomery, says, I would do it again.
She was on the ground. I just saw her, and my first instinct and just my first thought that came to my mind was that I have to help her and that I can't leave her.
Can't leave her behind.
How many? Did you see the video? I've not seen the video.
I saw the video, yeah.
How many other runners passed Julia on the ground?
Dozens. I mean, they were all around her.
But only Kaylee stopped.
Only Kaylee stopped. And then multiple more runners passed both of them because they're just hobbling.
Move!
Yeah, get out of the way. Basically an impediment.
On your right!
So why did she do it?
If I was down and falling, Jesus wouldn't pass me by. And so that was kind of what was going through my head, that I couldn't leave her, pass her by.
Right. Jesus wouldn't pass. That's right. Dad said, you just blew your shot at a scholarship.
What are you doing?
You're a senior.
No scholarship. You're a senior. You get no more chances at this. This was her last meet. Mm-hmm. You think you're going to PR, picking up some competitor? Not even a teammate, but a competitor.
No mercy.
No mercy. Sweep the leg. The young lady who was carried across.
Julia.
This is, yes, Julia Witherington. She says she never expected to be picked up and that her legs, I had never seen anything like this. I mean, her legs just gave out. 100 yards from the finish. She couldn't get up.
Cramping or injury?
Cramping, I guess. It was not an injury. It must have been cramps. Mm-hmm. And when she got up, she had trouble walking even with the other girl draping her over the back.
She started praying over me, and it really did give me strength to finish and just try to get up. And then every now and then I would look back up and see the finish line getting closer, and she would say, we're almost there, which was really encouraging.
Right. Now,
we're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Lean on me.
It's what you do, isn't it? It's what you do.
Now, when something like this happens and you carry a competitor, do you try to make sure that part of your body passes the finish line first, or just to make sure that you get a little bit better than that person?
Her dad said, you have to beat her. You have to leave her.
Or just leave them right there
at the finish
line.
Let them roll.
Then drag her across.
The last few feet, you got to roll or drag her because you got to be first. And this young lady, Kaylee Montgomery, did not do that. They crossed at exactly the same time. Both, of course, were disqualified. You can't even touch another runner. Obviously, I made sure of that.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think at the Olympic level, it's
disqualification.
Those are the rules.
Yeah, you can't
assist anybody or get assistance.
That's right. I would believe me. If I had been sitting at that finish line, I would have raised my hand and said, "Just DQ."
DQ, right?
Excuse me.
Both of them.
Excuse me.
Both of them DQ.
I would like to see the manager.
I want these girls gone.
Can we get an official out here?
I want them out.
Made a ruling.
We're not doing this. Now they're friends.
This is an experience that you can definitely form a friendship on, and by her actions alone, I can tell that she is a great person that I definitely want to be friends with.
They never met before. They were from,
of course,
schools from different parts of the state. They were all there for the state meet, and one carried the other across.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they both ended up at the same college on the same track
team, and then became friends with each other? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. You won't see their name in the finish book in the record books.
No. DQ, DNF, whatever.
That's right. I had it redacted from the record book. That will not stand. But
will you share this story with your own daughter, Kelly, who is a cross-country athlete?
I certainly will, and I'll tell her, whatever you do, don't you dare stop.
But what about Jesus?
No, sir. No, sir.
You think
Jesus
Usain Bolt would stop?
Let somebody else play. Yeah. Usain Bolt ain't stopping. Let somebody else play God. Don't you play God or Jesus. Just run on past it.
Yeah, you get that record, then go back.
That's right. Yeah, go back later if you want. After everybody's finished, drag her across the finish line.
So how far apart, because I've never been to a cross-country meet, the winners cross the line, how many minutes expire between the first place finishers and the stragglers? At a state, because you were at the state meet.
I was at the state meet. I would say
these are the best of the best.
12 to 14 minutes.
That much of a spread?
Yeah, I would say the finishers who win 16 and a half minutes, something like that. For the boys, it's like 15. The girl, and that's a 5-minute mile. I mean, it's 3.1 miles. And for the girls, probably 16 to 17.
Run even terrain.
Yes, that's right. Run even terrain. And we searched every doghouse, outhouse, farmhouse. When my daughter was
birdhouse.
Birdhouse, I got a birdhouse here. That's right. Yes, so running even terrain, they're doing 5-minute miles, which is unbelievable.
That is moving.
Oh, that's the guys. And the girls not far behind. They were like 16 to 17 minutes probably. Now, the last place finishers, 32 minutes. 30,
and the course is how many miles?
3.1. It's a 5K. It's 3.1 miles. And I know the state meet here, my daughter said, was the toughest course she has run. And she said it was very hilly. Of course,
is it always the same, or do they rotate?
They rotate. In fact, next year, so I got an email after I mentioned that, and they're supposed to do it at a different spot next year, which is an easier course.
So what's next for your athlete daughter? Spring track?
She's doing indoor track now. They have an indoor track, which she's training for right now, as a matter of fact. So she'll be, I don't know when those meets or matches start, but she goes indoor track, then to spring track, and then it's cross country after that. It's just go, go, go. I mean, all we do in our family is run and complain. We complain a lot about running. But there was a runner.
What's brand shoes does she wear?
New Balance. She's a New Balance.
You know, BB Shea and I were talking about shoes early this morning. New Balance is having a moment. They're signing all the superstar athletes from like the French Paris games.
We are available. We are into New Balance. And
NIL.
NIL, we'll take it. I don't care where she goes. It can be any school she wants to. Just give us some NIL money from NBNIL. That's what I'm looking for. There's a guy in, I think it was Greece. It was the actual marathon where they ran the first marathon. He's 88, and he ran a marathon faster than he did last year. And he says, I run it every year and just try to keep doing better and better and better. His name is, his last name is Porlakis, and at 88, he finished 3 minutes faster than he did last year. 6 hours and 31 minutes and 18 seconds.
God, imagine doing anything for 6 hours.
God, ain't that the truth? You know, we do this for 4. It's enough. I didn't mean to make it about myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. We're just sitting.
That first marathon, did it end in Marathon, or did he start at the Battle of Marathon? I can't recall how the legend
Battle
goes.
of Thermopylae.
Is that where he was?
So he ran 2.
And then he ran 26.2 miles to
marathon.
2 marathon, okay.
And then when he arrived, he said Nike.
And then collapsed.
Did he really?
He said
Nike?
Yeah.
And is that why they named Nike?
His victory, yeah.
Get out of here. God darn, look at you breaking
I know
some
stuff.
You think Biggie knew that?
Nah.
Shoot.
What else you got in that round head of yours,
Look at
BB?
you.
A few things.
That round head is full. God darn dang, I love it. Yeah, they've been running that there for 2,500 years, that marathon. And they're the same course, 26.2 miles. That's why it's 26.2 from that city to marathon. It's 26.2. That's pretty good, BB Shea. I like that. We have the bad story today. It's also from the world of sports. Fanatics, I'm sure you've heard of them, make all sorts of T-shirts, of course. They made an official World Series T-shirt with the Dodgers.
The players hated that. They universally hated the baseball uniforms.
They did.
They made.
They were
this year.
terrible all year, man.
They complained about those early and often, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They looked terrible.
yeah, they
lettering,
did.
numbering, fit.
Did they change it or did they
They
stick with
promised to, right?
it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Well, an embarrassing mistake from Fanatics. They made an official Los Angeles Dodgers World Championship T-shirt, and several Dodgers fans ordered this one online. I made several, of course. Had the Dodgers logo and the World Series champions on the front. On the back, it was signed by every single member of the team.
Nice.
But when fans got the T-shirt, at least a few noticed after looking at the autographs on the back, it's one of those where it had printed, every single autograph was from the 2023 Texas Rangers baseball team.
Whoa.
Which won the
Where's
World
Shohei?
Yeah.
Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah.
What?
When did we get DeGrom?
Corey Seager?
Yeah. When did we get Corey Seager? Yeah. The Rangers won it last year. And they used the same signatures from last year.
Yeah, that company takes a beating every now and then.
I guess.
I ordered a long sleeve T-shirt from Fanatics, and a long sleeve T-shirt arrived, but it doesn't. You know how you wear long? We all wear long sleeve T-shirts. There's no cuff at the bottom. It just ends like a pajama shirt.
What? Oh, that's terrible.
It's a terrible
That's
piece
terrible.
of clothing.
Yeah, that's
you
awful.
can't wear it in public because you look like a fool.
And did you not? I guess they didn't promote that when you ordered it.
No, I mean it looked like a long sleeve
regular
T-shirt, but
that's a terrible.
Their stuff is awful. By and large, it's just cheap.
Fanatics, but
Poorly
they
made.
They do make don't they have some fun? Like are the T-shirts like old school logos and stuff like that?
I mean, they do. They have licensing deals with almost everybody.
Yeah, but they don't make good stuff. Fanatics, and this year that's especially embarrassing. Isn't it? To put the signatures of the Rangers back there. So, I mean, if you're a Dodger fan, you're outraged by this. Ugly story. A guy has been arrested for shooting at a small tree. We have some excellent cop speak here.
Oh, good.
Chris Demm recognized the term cop speak several years ago, how police officers talk. A cop in New Hampshire was driving his usual route along a highway Monday night when he noticed an abandoned vehicle. When he got out, he heard gunshots in the woods nearby, so he called for backup. He had concerns. In addition to the gunshots, the area was near a wildlife management zone, and the shots were rapid, like an automatic weapon was being discharged. So he went into the woods. He had backup with
Weapon
him.
drawn?
Weapon drawn.
Gun out and up?
Correct. And they set up a perimeter. They closed in on the individual, and the guy said, I'm just shooting at a tree, man. What do you want? I mean, that's literally.
Oh, hey, guys.
Now
I'm just tree shooting.
He had 9
It's okay.
guns. We had 9 guns.
Tree shooting.
He's tree shooting. This is the officer that arrived on the scene first with his cop speak.
He came upon an abandoned vehicle. He heard what he believed to be gunfire, which then caused them to request the assistance of multiple other agencies until they could figure out what exactly was going on. Upon setting up the perimeter, they were also able to learn who the individual in question was. So they were able to make contact with him by phone, also using the PA system on the cruiser to call him out of the woods. He was shooting a small tree in the ground around the tree.
All right.
Stop shooting the tree.
So I found this kind of interesting. I maybe we should ask Lisa.
Is it tree season?
Well,
none of us is a hunter.
And by the way, he killed it. He got it.
Is he cutting his own Christmas tree?
It was a good shot. No, he didn't say. He just I like tree shooting. What's wrong with this?
He just wanted to fire off some rounds.
So the question is, technically it says it's not illegal to be shooting in the woods, but police say the charges are warranted based on the totality of circumstances.
Was it reckless?
Is that why?
I don't know.
It would be.
Is there the amount of guns, maybe?
The charges are reckless and disorderly conduct. So maybe that's it. But if you are allowed to shoot in the woods in that area.
But is that just for, well, I mean, you can shoot targets. You can go hunting.
Yeah, he's shooting tree. I mean, he can make the tree the target.
You could say he's target shooting.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, when the officer went by the abandoned vehicle, that's what caused him to stop, and that's when he heard the gunshots. The abandoned vehicle was not related to the guy. The guy just walked out there.
It wasn't his car.
It wasn't his car. No, he's carried his guns out. I feel. We should ask Lisa Lanier, who joins us in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
This is not on the docket.
What up with that?
Yeah. Is that? That's a great way to say it. We're going to say, what up with? We're going to call it Lisa Lanier. What up with that? What up with that? That's right. We are. It's not going to be lawyer up today. It's going to be what up with that? Why are you arresting this guy? All he's doing is shooting at a tree.
I thought this was America.
Yeah, exactly. What country did I wake up in?